Hiya, my name's Lee, I work for Micro Scooters and I'm here today just to show you a little bit about how we adjust if we've got stiff headset bearings, if they're a little bit notchy, the headstock bolts here, how we change those, and just a little bit of general maintenance to look after your scooter to get the maximum amount of years out of it. So what I'm going to do today is I'm just going to show you these headstock bolts here, because they're a bit of a strange design with regards to how they're kept. They're a two-part bolt, but if one side comes out, it doesn't affect the stability of the scooter. It will still function. However, safety is paramount, so we'd always make sure that the other half is in. So I've just taken that out just to show you what the bolts look like. Now this bolt here goes in from, as you're looking at here, it will go in from this side. So it goes in from the right hand side as you're looking on. And what happens is, inside this centre bit here, there is a thread. So that bit there screws through here into the centre thread here, and we can tighten it up. Yep, so we can do that nice and tight, and that's fine. The other half is just another 5mm Allen key bolt, but that's just a smaller thread, and that screws inside of the other bolt. As you can see here, I've got an example where it fits actually inside of the other bolt. So it's important that we get the other one tight first, and then we can tighten this one up against it. There we go, and because the other one's being done up from the other side, that just tightens up against it. So that's how we would change these headstock bolts here. Another issue that you may well have is either your steering is either a bit stiff or it's a bit loose. Yeah, so it might be a little bit stiff when you first get it, or after a period of time it might get a little bit loose. And this is just to do with the old headset bearings. There's one bearing here and there's one bearing here. And these two nuts here, they are the tension that we put on the bearings. If they're too tight, it's too stiff. If they're too loose, it's a bit sloppy, and there may be a little bit of movement in the play with regards to the upright and the wheel, so it might just feel a little bit loose. These are standard headset bearings and headset nuts here. So any bike shop, if you're not capable or competent in being able to doing this, or you haven't got these 36mm spanners, then take it down to your local bike shop and they should be able to help you out. But in a sense, what we need to do is loosen off the top one, holding the bottom one, we loosen off the top one. Yep, so we've got a little bit of play, and then what that does is enables us to move the bottom one to get the right amount of tension on the wheel, either doing it up or loosening it off, depending on where your steering is, if it's notchy or it's slack. So once we've got it in the right position, yeah, that feels good. We hold that one in place, and then we just tighten up that bottom one, that top one, down to the bottom one, and just locks it in position. And there we go, and that's adjusted our headset bearings. Also, what a good point to do is periodically, maybe every couple of months, is just go around with the Allen keys that you've got supplied with the scooter, and just give them a check, just give them a little bit of a torque up, just making sure they're tight. These two bolts here, making sure the ones on the right hand side, as you look at it, are tight, and then making sure the ones on the left hand side are pulled in, but make sure we do the right hand ones first. Making sure with a 13mm spanner, our push button nut is tight, our folding block axle is tight both sides. What you will find with this one is it's a two-piece bolt that bolts against each other, so when you move it, it may well move, and that's perfectly normal because that has to have a little bit of play in it for us to be able to fold the scooter. If it's too tight, then we wouldn't be able to do that. Axle bolts, always important, so 2 5mm Allen keys, making sure that our axle bolts front and rear are tight, and also the 4 nut bolts that hold the kickstand, which go through to the other side of the folding block. The bottom clamp, as we call it, making sure these are tight. This will keep your alignment true. But when we're doing these, just make sure that we don't pull up the top one or the bottom one independently. We're going to do a little bit on the top, a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on the top, and just work it until that's really, really tight. And then your top clamp here is just making sure that this is tight enough so it gives us the intermediate range for our height. Yeah, so we don't have to have it on the push button height, the fixed height. We can have it in the intermediate range. Yeah, because if it's too loose, in the intermediate range, what you'll find is it will slide up and down. So we just need to keep this one tight enough. And again, that's going to be with a 5mm Allen key that you've got with the scooter. Just make sure it's tight enough. So therefore, that's it. That's tight enough, and we've got it through our intermediate range. If we carry out that periodic routine maintenance, the scooter will last you a lot of years and you'll have a lot of fun.